Right now we're going to be meeting a PA. Good morning to you, Chris.
Good morning.
This is Chris Lutz, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Lutz, okay. And you are a physician's assistant.
Correct.
Will you tell us about yourself real briefly?
So, I am 34 years old. I'm a physician assistant at Christus Trinity Clinic in orthopedics and sports medicine.
Okay.
I currently work with Dr. Chris Meltsakos. We're both Chris.
Okay.
But to that tune, right now, the big thing about coming back to Texas was that this is home for me.
Okay.
And so I'm here to try to help out in the community, help people live good lives, and be healthy overall.
We are thrilled to death to have the Christus group in our town and helping us here.
Yes, ma'am.
There's lots and lots of good that comes out of that. So you say you're from Texas?
Originally from Texas, raised the first few years of my life in Fort Worth. And
No better place.
That's right. Ultimately, my family moved to Arkansas, and it was a little country town out there, and a town of about 10,000 in northwest Arkansas, Harrison, just south of the Ozarks.
Okay.
And I guess some people would say it's in the Ozarks, but ultimately after that I went to college at Arkansas State over there in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and that's where I started my pursuit of medicine. I originally knew I wanted to be a medical provider, whether it be a physician or something, when I was younger. So ultimately, that was the track to go on to start the degree in undergrad and in pre-professional studies, and did it in biology specifically with a minor in chemistry.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And then after that, went on to Tennessee, where I got my master's in physician assistant studies in Knoxville at South College.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So.
And then you began to work.
Then I began to work. Began to help out and try to help people live healthy lives. And yes, ma'am.
I wonder, when people maybe start off to think they're going to be a doctor, then they maybe alter their career plan so that you can work sooner, maybe, or stop studying.
That is definitely part of it. To the same tune, when I wanted to be a physician when I was younger, I also paid attention to the amount of time it would take in school versus being a mid-level, some people say mid-level, some say advanced practice providers, versus being a nurse practitioner or a physician assistant. Ultimately, less schooling to be a physician assistant, but you're still held up to rigorous standards. Right. And at that same token, I can also always ask my supervising physician if there's something I don't know, or if there's something that a patient's uncertain about. If they're asking a question, I can always verify it and run it by my physician. And we're a team. We absolutely are a team. And with that, go ahead.
And I had made a misstatement when I said stop studying. I know that doctors and physicians' assistants and people who care for others have to keep studying.
We do. Yes, ma'am. One of the things that we do regularly, is continuing medical education. Okay. As a PA, specifically, our boards require about 100 hours per year. However, even last night, as I was going to bed, I'm reading an article trying to see some of the latest advances in some of the orthopedic techniques. And that's just something that we continue to do, because with continuing medical education, you continue to see the things that are advancing in the field so that your patients are taken care of properly and they can have the best outcomes. What you were doing 2 years ago might not be the best thing for your patients now. And so that's why you have to stay up in the literature and stay current.
Right. Well, and you mentioned earlier that at our orthopedic and sports medicine clinic,
yes, ma'am,
associated with Christus here in Sulphur Springs, there are two Chris's, and you can see the MD or you can see the PA.
Correct. So people will see either one of us. A lot of times I'm the one that'll see a number of patients when they come in, and there'll be a lot of patients come in with acute injury, and I can initially see you, work you up, and if you need surgery, then I have my supervising physician and the orthopedic surgeon that I can transfer you over to, okay, and he can take care of that if we need to. However, a lot of my patients come in and they're trying to push surgery off. They're trying not to get that knee replacement, not to get that hip replacement. So they're going to come and see me every few months. And a lot of times I'm going to be giving them injections. We might do anti-inflammatories. And at that, we have a myriad of treatments that we can do a lot of times to help keep surgery away. Now, not every patient is a candidate to keep surgery away. There are some things that I'm going to tell a lot of patients you need to have surgery on. but I will do my best to help patients to accommodate what they have with their treatment goals.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
There are so many things. Some people have been, I think, afraid to get injections because that might worsen their situation. How do you address that?
You know, a lot of times, this actually goes back to the continuing medical education. And a lot of times when patients worry about that, the most I can do is I can sit there and I can give them the information. I can give them the facts. I understand, I guess we've all had horror stories where one doctor gave my neighbor an injection and he said it's the worst thing in the world and never do it again. I understand that, but I will say one thing to patients: give me a try. I'll do my best to try to make it the most comfortable experience. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, when you leave our office, I want you to be comfortable. And everybody on our team wants you to feel comfortable. We do have a great team, and they're all in there for you as well. I can tell you what, the nursing staff is phenomenal. Our medical assistants are phenomenal. Our trainers are great. And if there's ever a patient who even has a question or concern, they're there to support you. They're there to make sure the patient's comfortable, and at the end of the day, they walk out of there happy.
You mentioned trainers.
Yes, ma'am. We have trainers in the clinic. What they do specifically is they're kind of in our clinic part-time, but then they also go out to the schools, and they will help out with the schools with any sort of athletic injuries, any sort of conditioning. So they help keep our local communities healthy and proactively help keep the athletes safe and healthy.
Yes.
And then in the clinic, they also help us with our casting, and then they also help us with bringing patients back. And also, they're part of our patient experience.
How great.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Dr. Chris Meltsakos,
Yes.
the orthopedic and sports medicine clinic that we have here is rather new.
Yes, ma'am.
1.5 years or so.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, we've had orthopedics here, but I think there's a heavier implication now. He does a lot of the sports medicine stuff, and the thing is with him, when something comes in, we're willing to see everything. And if for some reason we can't handle it, we'll let you know where we need to send you. If we need to send you to Tyler, or if we need to get you on to Rockwall or something like that, we will. However, the majority of things we can keep here in town, and patients can stay local. When it comes to sports injuries, come see us. When it comes to your general ailments and your general orthopedic needs, come see us. We'll look at it. We'll do our best to try to treat it. And if there's, like I said, if there's something we can't do, we'll let you know.
Okay, and that
Yes,
is
ma'am.
really a wonderful, wonderful invitation. I mean, when my kids were in school, we had to go to other towns, send them to other towns
Yes.
to be seen, even.
Not anymore. We're here to
That's
help y'all.
great. Where is our orthopedics and sports medicine clinic?
Christus Trinity Clinic for the orthopedics is over in Medical Circle at the Medical Plaza here in town. It is building 5B.
Okay.
It's a gray building on the side of the campus.
Okay. I think they're usually well numbered,
Yes, ma'am.
as you drive
They are.
down in there. And we have a lot of clinics and a lot of good practice here, good knowledge and caring physicians.
Yes, we do. And that's the good thing is about being able to have comprehensive care here. Most patients don't need to go anywhere else. You have
And-
just about everything you need here.
And we do surgery here?
Yes, ma'am, we do. Dr. Meltsakos will do his surgery here on campus at the hospital here. And so he's in the operating room, I'll be honest, twice a day. He's in the clinic three days out of the week, and I'm in the clinic 5 days a week. If I'm not busy, I'll go help him, but the majority of the time I'm accessible in the clinic so that patients have something come up. Usually we can work you in.
Okay. Well, there's so many things. As we age, of course, our joints may begin to give us trouble,
Yes,
or
ma'am.
et cetera. And we could have an accident on the weekend, fall off the horse or whatever.
We can.
That's where you'll need to start. It's like the starting place.
Correct.
Maybe you
And-
see your own doctor and also get referred there.
Correct. A lot of times patients will go to their own doctor first, or if it's an emergency, you'll be seen in the emergency department, and they'll typically tell you need to come see us at the orthopedic clinic. So, but whether it be, we see just about everything, I can tell you, whether it be injuries from cattle trailers, hoverboards, we've seen them all. So,
I see.
yes,
I
ma'am.
see. Well, do you feel that you are getting more rounded in your practice by your time having spent here? And you've only got here in the spring.
Yes, I just got here a couple months ago, and at that token, looking at this, I think that every day I work, I'll be honest with you, I learn something new. You never know everything. That's the thing. And just when you think you got your practice down and you're good and you're efficient at it, think again. Something's going to come at you like a curveball. That's one thing I can say though right now is this is really just it's all encompassing. You know, I've done a lot of specialties in my life with orthopedics, whether it be hand, elbow, spine, trauma, urgent care, but seeing the general and the sports side, I've seen a lot of this stuff, but even like just yesterday, I ended up having to ask a question because I didn't know how to address something. And that's the thing about being a PA. You're not perfect, but you always have a supervising physician that you can ask questions to. And then you also got to know where to go to find them.
Okay. And the structure of being in the clinic is very beneficial to our community because you allow the doctor to have a broader scope of being able to see people.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're right. I am a little more accessible, so that enhances our coverage because we can see more people now that I'm in the office.
Okay.
I see patients. He sees patients, independently of each other, but still we're a team.
And you are there in surgeries as well.
Yes, I do help with surgeries. Typically, a lot of times he's by himself, but every now and then when there's a weekend case or something like that, or if I'm not busy, it's in the afternoon on his surgery day, I'll go help him out.
Okay,
yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Well, again, it's wonderful that we have the orthopedic and sports medicine clinic right here,
Yes.
and we can see folks here and actually serve a broad community a
Yes,
whole
ma'am.
lot better than we used to be able to do.
Yes, ma'am. And we reach out any of the communities around here. Feel free. I mean, we see patients from Greenville. We see patients from Commerce. I mean, we even see patients from Paris, and we've had a couple come from Tyler. So we're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to come to the clinic. More than happy to see y'all.
Well, briefly, just once again, say
Yes,
who
ma'am.
you are and where you work.
I'm Christopher Lutz. I'm a physician assistant at Christus Trinity Clinic, Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, and I'm PA to Dr. Christopher Meltsakos.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for coming in this
I
morning.
am glad to be here.
Okay.